Welcome, Kat. It's a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you for asking me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm excited about today's session because it is something that is relevant to possibly every member of this group. So we are going to talk about from invisible to visible. A lot of our members are business owners, most of them coaches. And so obviously this is something that's going to be directly applicable to them. But we also have some corporate employees. And I understand, well, because in my previous life, I used to work in the corporate. I understand that visibility is equally important in the corporate world as well. It works differently, but it is equally relevant there as well. So let's get started. We are going to talk about how we can move from being invisible to visible. But first, let's understand a little bit about you. Tell us, what is your story?
Okay, so I'm not a coach. I'm not a coach. I was a hairdresser. So I was a hairdresser for 26 years, running multiple businesses and owning 3 salons. And how did I become a visibility mentor? Well, I was sat in the salon one day at my reception desk, and I'd had a tsunami of death around me. I'd lost 2 of my best friends, aunties, uncles, including my mum.
And I just hear that.
There's more to life. I thought, I was sat there thinking, I've made everybody look their visibility best and feel confident from behind the chair for such a long time. I'd never really shown my true self and who I was, and I'd never shared my story. And I just sat there and I did I just phoned my husband and I just said, I'm going to retire. And he said, what do you mean? I said, I'm going to retire from the salon. I don't know what I'm going to do, but today's the day. So I made that announcement. I retired from the salon. But with that, I had a lot more time on my hands. And I didn't know where I was going or what I was doing. But all I knew was with this time on my hands, it gave me time to think. And when Kat has a lot of time to think, it's not really a good thing. So I used to go walking, and I absolutely love dogs. So I thought, why don't I become a dog walker? So that's what I did. I anti-cat evolved. But again, with this, it's a beautiful job to have, but you still have a lot of time on your hands after you've walked the dogs. So I started to voice clip. When I was on a walk, I started to get all my thoughts out of my mind, and I popped them in this voice clip. And when I come home, I journal them down. I didn't know what journaling was, but I wrote them down at the time. And my friend said to me, wow, that's a good blog. And I was like, blog? What's a blog? I didn't know what one was. And she said, exactly that. I think you should publish that. You need to get yourself a website. And I was like, absolutely not. I will not be visible. I will not be doing that, because we all get that imposter syndrome, don't we? Where who wants to read what's in my mind, what I've just put onto paper, on a little piece of paper? Who wants to read that? Well, anyway, just to keep my friends happy, that's what I did. I got this free website. It's called Simple Site. The clue's in the name. I'm not very tech savvy, so that was good for me. That's what I did. I've got this free site, put my first blog, didn't know what that was, but popped it out there and then hid away because, like I said, who wants to read about me?
Yeah.
Fast forward this, and they did want to read it. And I didn't realize that I would be getting lots of inboxes, lots of messages, people reaching out, because for the first time after 42 years, I started to talk about mental health, and I started to talk about my mental illness. And that is when I became from invisible to visible, because my mental illness is invisible. So it was my job to make that visible and to let people know that you can be a successful business woman, man, and have a mental illness. You can marry the two, because I've done it, and you don't have to hide behind it. So these blogs continued and continued, and everyone kept asking me for the next blog. And I just thought, I got to grips with what blogging was then, but I just thought, you know what, I could just write a book. It'd just be easier just to write a book. So that's what I did. I wrote a book in 2018 and didn't set out to become a bestseller, but that's what happened. So became very visible very quickly, started to be a co-radio presenter. And then before I knew it, I was having tea with Sir Trevor MacDonald, and life just got a little bit crazy. I'd become this mental health advocate. I'd become very visible very quickly. But you see, I live in a very, very small town. And people that live in a small town, some minority, don't like to see you do that. Don't like whatever success means to people. Some people didn't like it. So I got severely trolled. And with the trolling, made my mental, obviously, illness and my dark time come back. So I hid away again. And then we roll forward to 2020, and the world stood still anyway. And I was already hiding away. But that's when I woke up again.
Yeah. What a journey. So just one day you were sat in the salon and you decided to just leave it all. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, just walk. It sounds, 26 years is a long time in any one career, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm big on, if you are passionate about something, you carry it on. But it wasn't fair for my customers for me to be behind the chair and them getting all excited about their hair colour and their next big haircut. And inside, I'm dying. And I'm thinking, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered what your hair looks like. I knew it was time to step away because there was a calling for me. I didn't know what it was, but it wasn't that. So I recommend with anybody, if you are feeling not aligned to what you are doing and you're not passionate about it, you don't get up in the morning with that fire in your belly, then you need to look at what you're doing. And if you can, change it.
Yeah. That is such an important message for all of us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that, Kat. Because a lot of times we just don't realize that we have that choice, or we can make a different decision and walk away from something that doesn't make a heart sing.
I don't know any entrepreneur that hasn't got a story.
Yeah.
This is what you do. This is your job. You bring people's stories out. And I don't know anybody that hasn't got a story that takes them. And they, for me, it was turning my pain into my passion and realizing it was actually my purpose. But that takes time, doesn't it? That takes a lot of time. And when the world stood still in 2020, I invested in myself. I was like everybody. I didn't get dressed. I was on a pity pot. I thought it was just happening to me, but and then it was like this massive world crisis. And I was like, oh God, what am I going to do? Am I going to stay in my pajamas and on my pity pot? Or am I going to get myself back out there again? So I invested in a coach. I've never invested in a coach before. Didn't really know what coaches were, what they did. Didn't know. Just a bit like meat the sausage. Just a bit like blogging. I didn't exactly know what it was, but I'd heard good things and I just thought this can only be beneficial. So that's what I did. I went on a 6-month course with a coach. She taught me lots and lots of different things, but on that journey, want of a better word, I met some amazing people who I'm still learning from. Like I suppose like yourself, if every day's a school day, we're always learning from everybody, and I love to absorb everything. And I just realized, I was a business owner for this long, and why am I hiding away when I could be helping other business owners stay visible in this world crisis? Because I know what it takes to be visible. I've seen both sides of it. I've seen the dark side, I've seen the good side. I run a business off social media and on social media. So I was like, why aren't I using this thing that I've got? Why has it took so long? Because bloody imposter syndrome again, and ego, all of those inner critic take over, don't they? And they just go, you're not good enough.
Yeah.
Well, I looked in the mirror and I just went, you are good enough. So you're going to go and do it. And that's what I did. I got a community group, started building my audience, and started helping people just with like mini challenges again. didn't know that that was an actual thing, that this is what coaches do. They run challenges. I didn't know that. It was like I was proper winging it. And my first challenge, completely off the cuff, was to get dressed to de-stress. So
Wow.
I'm no fashion style, nothing like that. I don't, but I was just know that when I've worked on my mindset for my mental illness, because I took a spiritual, holistic approach rather than medication, not ruling out medication at all, just telling that's what I've done. So I knew what helps me. So you've always got to find your own way, what helps you, but getting dressed, getting up and showing up and, popping, a nice dress on and popping some makeup on, it doesn't mean that you're being false and you're trying to pretend to be something you're not. If that gives you confidence to show up, then that's what you do. And that's what I was teaching people. And people were like, oh my God, you're giving me a purpose to get up in the morning. You're giving me something that I want to get dressed and I want to get back out there. And this was nobody knew what was going on. Nobody knew, we've got a building company. We didn't know whether that was going to survive. You just don't know at the time. So I think we all just came together as a community. I did like these mini broadcasts and different things and just, affirmations, all stuff like that. And then people were asking for more. And my husband said to me, you can't obviously continue just running this community group for free. Lovely as it is. So the Visibility Academy was born, and now I help female entrepreneurs to go from invisible to visible, get aligned to what it is they want to do, get aligned to their passion, their purpose, their message, who they want to help. Because we're in the relationship game here, aren't we, guys? So it's all about how we can help others. And that's been going, we're not even a year old, we're 10 months old.
Wow. What a beautiful journey from a successful business owner in a particular niche, which was completely different, to becoming a dog walker, mental health advocate, and now the visibility queen.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And that when people, when you talk about this, like I'm talking today on your, I was going to call it your chat show then. Let's call it a chat show. People think, they go, oh God, wow, what a journey. That journey is open to everybody. Those opportunities are open to everybody. It's just having that courage to take that leap and to know that the net will appear and it will catch you. And I know a lot of people hold back from that, don't they? They think, oh, I can't do that. I can't, And then there's obviously the stereotyping of what it is to be visible, oh, you've got to go live on Facebook and you've got to post every day and you've got to do this and you've got to do that, and I think people get really confused to what it is that I do until they work with me. And then they go, oh, okay. It's not just about, you're not going to, obviously there is aspects of social media and going live, but there's so much more to visibility. And your visibility is your own thing. Now, I'm not one to say you need to step out your comfort zone and that's where the magic happens. Absolutely not. Your comfort zone will just move with you. And it's up to you to find where you feel comfortable. Because if you do not feel comfortable, then you are not going to show up. Or if you are stepping out of that huge comfort zone and showing up, you don't come up. We see that. The audience sees that. It's not authentic. We can see you struggling. It's not how visibility should be for you.
Yeah.
Now, remember, I started being visible, not showing my face. I was writing words. I was writing words down, which became a blog, which became a book. So I was a blogger and an author, not really showing my face. Then I did radio. Don't show your face with that neither. So it's like, so people get really confused that they feel like they've got to be on every single platform on social media, just showing up consistently, which, yes, there is times for that, but you've got to know why you're showing up. You've got to know that. You've got to, you don't just post and pray or show up and pray. There's got to be some reason why you want to be visible.
Yes. And that brings us to one of the important things that we want to talk about today, purpose.
Yeah.
And you said something really beautiful right in the beginning. You said you took your pain and transformed it into your purpose.
Yeah.
So tell us, how can we do the same?
Like I've said before about everybody's got a story, haven't they? And it depends how ready you are, because at the time when I was in the salon, I was still in my story. Now I stand on my story. There's the difference, and that's how I can teach people to obviously gain their visibility in that way. But it depends where, like I've talked about my pain. It depends if the scars are still open for you to find your purpose. But this purpose could be anything. It doesn't need to be as deep as that with me. It doesn't need to be me sharing my whole memoirs about growing up with two parents with mental illnesses, and lo and behold, I have one too. It doesn't have to be that. It can be whatever you enjoy in life can turn into your passion, because that's what we're here for. Without being deep and spiritual and all that, but that is exactly why we're here. And sometimes when we're going down these winding paths and we're just not enjoying it, it's because it's not our purpose. It's because we're not here to do that. Was I meant to be a hairdresser for 26 years? I don't know. But it shaped me into the person I am today, and it made me wake up to the person I am today. And it's helping other females because of that process that I had. So I think you need to take a look at what you are doing, and if you are feeling that you are just doing it because that's what you have to do, that's what all the gurus tell you to do. Is that why you're doing it? Or are you doing it because it absolutely gives you that buzz and that fire and that satisfaction, when you go to bed at night? Don't get me wrong, we're all here to, we've all got to earn a living. We've all got to, we all have to earn money. So I get that. I get not everybody has an opportunity to just retire from their job. I totally get that. But you do have choices that you can put into place to make things happen.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I loved how you explained the story bit. You were in your story and now you're standing on it. That's a beautiful way to describe it. Yeah.
It is quite powerful to do that, because don't get me wrong, I have to work on myself. I've got a mental illness. It doesn't go away.
Yeah.
So I have to work on myself every day, and people, and I think that is why I'm so open about talking about that now.
Yeah.
And to showing people that, I don't just show the good. I don't just show snap the lifestyle. I'm not about that. If I'm having a shit day, I'll tell you I'm having a shit day, and that's okay. We are programmed by society that we do not show up like that. And I always think back to my salon when I was doing somebody's hair. I would watch them walk back to their car, and the first thing they would do, and you've probably done it yourself, you sit in your seat, you put your mirror down, you just check out what she's done, make sure it's okay, because you're not really taking it in completely in the mirror, because you're being polite to the stylist.
Yeah.
So we take that's what we do, don't we? So so you go into your car and then you have a proper good look, and then you take a selfie and you may pop it on social media, because at that moment in time I've given you your 10 seconds of courage and confidence to show up. So why not have that courage and confidence to show up all of the time, no matter whether you've had your hair done? That's just just an example, whether you've had your hair done or not. But a lot of people say, well, I can't, because I can't do that, and I can't, because we're so worrying about Vera down the road who doesn't know us, and we've been programmed to worry about what parents may think, what friends may think. Some friends you may have may be employed, which is fantastic, but they don't understand this entrepreneurial world.
Yeah.
So when you're showing up, sharing all your stuff, they're like, what the hell are you doing? We don't talk about stuff like that. We don't talk about stuff like that. Why are you telling everyone about everything? And yeah, it takes a long time for people to realize why you do what you do. But I think everything, when like you teach about story, and that's something that I do, but it's just something that's happened because of the blogging, because it was obviously sharing my story. And now I just feel like everybody can do that. Everybody can share their passion through storytelling. They should work with you.
They should. I agree. So here I have a question for you, and here I'm bringing in your experience as a mental health advocate and as somebody who has struggled with mental health, and because you help people find their purpose and share their purpose and monetize it. So we can be purpose driven, but what happens in those times when we start feeling disconnected with our purpose? Maybe it could be something going on around us, or maybe there's something going within us. Maybe it's a mental health thing. What are some of the things we can do to get back on track?
The thing is, you can't motivate anybody, so you can't teach motivation. So when you've lost your mojo, it's okay to lose your mojo. It's okay to not be, we're human beings, and I think the being bit gets missed a lot. And it's okay to just take a break.
Yeah.
Take a break, step back. Now I have a whole morning routine, but it's my morning routine. So I could offer that to you, but that may not work for you, because it's like, I'm not one of these people say, oh, you've got to go and meditate, and you've got to go and do this, you've got to do what works for you. So for me, I don't take my mobile phone to bed with me, because instantly, if I did, it would be too easy. The first thing I would do would reach over to my phone. You open your phone up, straight away you're absorbing any negative energy that may be showing up on there. So straight away you're putting your mindset into a state that it doesn't need to be in, because once you've been asleep, obviously your vibrations are really low. So I don't take my phone to bed with me. So I get up and I thank in the morning. I'm very big on gratitudes, and I thank for opening my eyes, because there was one day that I didn't want to open my eyes. Things were that bad that I didn't want to wake up. So I'm very grateful that I stare over at my husband, that we've been together for 34 years, and my 2 children, and I thank that there's another day. And anything that's negative in my head, I say it out loud and I flush it down the toilet. Now that sounds a little bit mad, but that is what works for me. Affirmations work for me. Having that hour before I do, just being outside, just looking up, logging out and looking up. People think visibility queen, she's logged on from 6 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock the next day. It's absolutely not what visibility is. So when you do lose your way, surround yourself with people who get it. Have a community, because it can be lonely. This entrepreneurial journey can be lonely. So make sure that, we all hear find your tribe and all that. I do think that's super important. I do, to have the people around you that you can connect with. I run 2 small masterminds just for 7 people each. And that is a real safe space. And if you can be part of something like that, where you can openly say, I am just not feeling it. I don't think I can do this anymore. Because there's no good pretending, because a lot of us, that's what a lot of us do. We hide. It's easier for us to say. So if someone says to you, hi, you okay? What do we say? Yeah, I'm fine. How are you? And you're screaming inside, really.
Yeah.
Because that person doesn't want to hear you go, oh, well, I've got this going on and this going on. But if you get a community, or create a community where you can have like-minded people, where you have got that, because talking is the most important part for your mental health. absolutely. Talking, I hid away for too long and talked about the washing and the weather for too long.
Yeah, yeah. So the points that I picked up were, it's important to have a community around us. It's important to seek that support. And it is 100% okay to take a break when you don't feel like doing what you might be passionate about.
Yeah. Who wants burnout? And I can only speak from, like you'll speak from your experience, I'll speak from mine. So when I've had burnout twice, where I got viral meningitis and lost my sight because I was working too hard, because that's what you did. I thought to be successful, I had to work 60, 80 hours a week, and I had to work when I come home. And you're a one-man band, so you're doing all your marketing, you're doing your actual job, you're doing your social media, you're doing your accounts, you're doing absolutely everything yourself. So you have to really, really look at that. And if you can outsource anything, and I know that costs money, and not everybody can do that, but that's been a big part for me, is letting go and outsourcing, because I get really wound up with technology, and that's just a thing I tell myself. If I learn, I'd be okay. It's just a mindset thing. I know that, but it doesn't float my boat. So there you go. I've got a VA. Off you go and do that for me. And that gives me time then to do this, because I'm really a creative person and I love just going with the flow. Sometimes I don't like to plan. Sometimes I don't like to set goals and do the normal thing, what we're meant to do. And that gives me time to just be and do that. And then we show up as the best versions of ourselves then, don't we?
Yes.
Hear my dog crying.
Yeah, delegation is such a big thing. And you're right, it does cost money, but it has so many benefits. If it doesn't float our boat, if it doesn't make us happy, or maybe it's not a skill that we have, or it could be something that we are able to do. For me, accounts would fall in that category. I can do them if I choose to. I'm sure I can learn them, but I don't want to do them. So someone else would do them for me.
Yeah, exactly that. We've had the same accountant for 20 odd years because they're good at their job. They know us inside out. And that's one headache done. I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about the back office of my membership. That's done for me. What I worry about is delivering the best version of me to help and support and to teach other business owners. And if I had everything else going on in the background, because we have life as well, don't we? If you're a mum, a dad, an auntie, an uncle, a friend, you've got all that going on, and you should be able to enjoy that as well, and not just be in your business, because sometimes you can just be so in your business you forget to look at the bigger picture, don't you?
Yeah. And it is very easy to get into that space where we get caught up working in our business, working on our business, and we just lose sight of everything.
Yeah, definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I've definitely done that mistake. So yeah, I can hold my hand up.
Yeah, we learn from our mistakes. Don't get me wrong, sometimes you have to make them 2 or 3 times to actually go, okay. or I'm like, the universe told me, I just didn't take direction. But now I'm listening. I think we definitely all learn from that. And when it comes to like visibility, just remember that it can be anything you want it to be. Don't look at what everyone else is doing. I work with introverts that don't want to be live on Facebook. There's so many different people, and it's saying that's okay to be you. And if that's how you show up and that's the best version of you and that's what you can do, don't get me wrong. If someone said, oh, well, I really, really want to learn to do this, then of course you help them along, you mentor them along the way, but you don't ever tell someone to do something that is not aligned to them and how they should show up, just because it's stereotyped. Do you know what I mean? Just because it's stereotyping it.
Yeah. And there is no one solution that is suitable for all the people and all the businesses.
Exactly. Because some people run sidelines. So some people have a full-time job and they're trying to get their self-employment business off the line, but they have got restrictions from their job. So there's they can't, go and do a TikTok or do a reel or whatever you want to do, because that, if they're from quite a corporate team, that just wouldn't sit well with the company and the company values that they have got to, abide by. So, I work with a lot of people who are trying to get their side hustle to be their full-time job.
Yeah.
So there's lots of swings and roundabouts, isn't there, when it comes to how how you show up. But the most important thing is to just get super clear on why you want to. Do you want to because everybody else is doing it? Do you want to because you've been told that's what you should do? Ask yourself why. And it's only then, when you've got your mission, we talk about mission and vision, don't we? And it's only then, when you've got your absolute mission of what it is and what your purpose is, then everything falls into place effortlessly, organically. It's not a chore. It doesn't, some people go, oh, I've posted today, I've been visible. Oh, thank God for that. It's a chore for them. And that's not visibility.
No.
It's effort. And none of us want that.
Oh, I love that. That's not visibility, that's effort.
Yeah. None of us want that. I get up in the morning, I love visibility. Obviously. That's what I do. So opportunities like this, I love talking, I love chatting, I love the radio. When I did the radio, it's lovely to listen to other people's, and you learn so much and you pick up stuff that then you would go, you may have picked up something today that you will then go and use in your own thing, or phrases or stuff like that. That's all we ever do, don't we? Whether you're a coach, a mentor, in the corporate world, whatever, you learn from other people, and then you put your own spin on it. And that's all we all do. But there's it's just about being yourself. Just be yourself, and don't think you've got to show up a certain way, and have your own brand identity. And if you meet me in real life, this is how I talk, right? I don't show up a different way just because I'm online. Just because I've got this glass screen, we smash through the glass and we build that emotion connection. And I know it's harder than it's easier to do face to face. So doing it through a screen. But if you do it with your own brand identity and your own voice, and try not to think, right, I'm going live on LinkedIn now, so it's a bit of a boardroom, so I've got to act a certain way. No, you don't. No, you don't. You just be you, because everyone else is taken. And you we all talk about it, don't we? It's your superpower. There's no, we've got our own fingerprints, and we're here to leave them however we choose.
I think that's a beautiful way to put it. We've all got our fingerprints, and we're here to leave them.
Everyone's different, don't you find? That's amazing. I always look at stuff like that. I always think every single fingerprint is different. And that's how you should look when you start comparing yourself to other people online, because that's another thing, isn't it? Comparing people's journeys. And people go, oh my God, I can't believe how much you've done in this 10 months, and you've done this and you've done that and you've done that. And I went, and I've been working on me for 40 odd years. That's the difference. I've had businesses, people only see what you're putting out there now, like a show reel, don't they? They only see that bit and they think, oh God, if only I could do that. Of course you can bloody do it. Anyone can do whatever they choose to do. Absolutely. Just don't compare yourself, because that will just eat away at your mindset. It will kill your business. You'll spend that much time looking at your competitors and looking what they're doing instead of focusing on what you're doing, and you'll just be bloody unhappy. So don't do it. Don't do it. It's all very good to see, everyone's got to see what your competition's doing and all that. Why? Just do you. Just do you. It doesn't matter what they're doing. Off they pop.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I do find that when we compare ourselves to other people, it is a short recipe to be unhappy, because it is very easy to get caught up in, oh, that coach put out a post about making 10K last night while they were sleeping.
Yeah.
I'm still struggling to make 500 pounds.
Yeah.
And it's such a mess. It's such a mess. It only does harm. It brings no good.
And that is where you're in control. With social media, excuse me, you are in control. You're in control of what you see. You're in control of what you put out there. You're in control of what you comment on. So if something triggers you, if someone's unkind to you, if someone trolls you, you are in control to unfollow, remove, unfriend, block.
Yeah.
We all have got a place on this social media platform, and it's an amazing marketing tool. But what people do is get sucked into the lovely things that Facebook and Instagram have given us around emojis. And if someone leaves you a blue tick and not a heart, well, they hate you, don't they? They don't like you. Because we want that validation, because we're being programmed for that validation. We need to get back to basics and building relationships, networking, talking, being a real person. Just be a real human. Don't get wrapped up in everything that, social media is. I think it's brilliant. It's a massive part of my business. But I've had to learn from that. I've had to learn from the dark side of that, and then teach other people that, you're going to get visible. People aren't going to like it. Of course, there's going to be that side of it. But we've got things in place that will help you along the way to, to allow yourself to realize that you are in control of it. And when you're looking at someone who's got 10, 20,000 followers, that doesn't mean they've got 10, 20,000 sales every day from each person. It's not about numbers. We're not in the numbers game. We're in the relationship game. I built a business 25 years ago without social media, without a website, and that business still runs today. But it still runs. And that is because I built the foundations of solid relationships. And it's the basics of any business. Yeah. Isn't it?
Yeah. There was so much goodness in what you shared about social media, Kat. That was gold. When you said we are in control of what we put out, what we share, what we don't share, that is such a huge thing. So many entrepreneurs, so many business owners don't realize that they get to control the content.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
Yeah, so many people just think that they have to go out. If someone else is sharing about their mental health, and if they aren't ready to talk about it, well, they've got to do it. No, they don't.
No,
they don't.
It's your business. It's how you want. As long as if you are building a life for yourself without hurting anybody else, and you're proud of the life you're building for yourself, and you're helping people along the way, that's it. That's it. And how you show up will come through as your authentic self. You don't need to be, if you like some people say to me, that course you put out, why was it that cheap? And I'm like, because that's my mission. I run diverse programs and memberships at an affordable price, because that is my mission. I'm not a high ticket person. I'm not going to ever talk about how I made 6-figure, 7-figure, because that is not me. That's not what. But I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. If that does float your boat and that's what you do, then absolutely, that's how you show up. Yeah, I'm not a numbers girl. Give me cake and a cup of tea and I'm happy. I'm a lead a simple life, and that's not for everyone. Stop crying. My dog's so demanding. Come here. You could have kids running around. Now I've got dogs and she's just crying like mad.
Yeah. Yes, that's so true. If you're a numbers person, focus on them. That's how you show up. If you are a tea and cake person, well, actually, I'm both. I love my cake, I love my tea, and I love my numbers.
And if you want to make 6 figures, then go put the work in and make it. But don't then compare someone who doesn't want to make that and make them feel like, well, you should be doing that. Why aren't you doing that? What you offer should be worth more, and you don't know your worth and all that shit. It's about the person. If I choose to put a course out there for £9,000 or £90, that is up to me. Yeah, it's not about you don't know your self-worth and all that. It's about what your mission is, and nobody can tell you that. You have got to write that down. Got to write that down, and you've got to have a clear vision on where you're going and how you're going to show up as your visibility best.
I really like how you have explained this concept to us, that if you want to do 6 figures, go ahead and do them, but don't make anyone else feel shit about themselves because they don't want it.
Yeah. And I see that too often, and I see people, and then it goes back to the comparing, and then it goes back to, well, oh God, I put this out and I only made 10 sales and I'm just not good enough. And then people hide away again because they feel like what they've done has not been good enough. And I'm like, it's been bloody amazing. You sold 10. Oh my God, you sold 10. It's just like when people say to me, oh, I put a post out, it only got 30 likes. And I'm like, not about the likes, it's about the lives. Not the likes, the lives that you change. Because some people, and you know yourself, you may see a post, an Instagram story or whatever, you might really like it, but you don't actually like it, you don't actually press the button.
I do that all the time. All the time.
And people, this is what I said, you inspire people that pretend to not see you, they see you. So this is why you show up as you and not think that you are doing a shit job and you're not doing this and you're not doing that. Because, like if 30 people walked into my salon all at once, I'd be overwhelmed, wouldn't I? I'd be like, bloody hell, this is brilliant. But then you get 30 likes on a post and you're like, I'm rubbish. I'm not good enough. It's a social media that's programming us, and this is what does my head in, because I love visibility. That part of it I don't like, and that is why you need to be surrounded with people that have got your back, that like basically put your mindset back on track when it needs to be put back on track, when you're getting all those thoughts. Because don't get me wrong, we all get them thoughts. We all get them thoughts. It's no good me saying that I never do, because I do. But it's just knowing that okay, let's get back to real life now, and and that's what it is, isn't it? And not again, going back to not comparing yourself. And like I did a post the other day on me with no makeup on and me with makeup, because I see people say like, well, you should be able to just show up as you, if you're saying you show up as you are, I should be able to show up with no makeup on and stuff like that. And I'm like, but this is me and this is also me, and they are both as worthy as one another. It's just the person I chose to be today. If I don't want to wash my hair, don't want to put makeup on, but still want to show up, I will. If I want to put a nice dress on, full face of makeup and show up, I will. It's nobody's opinion, really. You don't have to ask permission how you show up, and it doesn't mean that you're being false. It just means you're just doing you. I get quite passionate about that, don't I? I go to big
this point that you're making about makeup, it is such an important point, Kat, because people think that they've got to dress up a certain way, do the hair, do the makeup, or whatever it is applicable to them or in their world. But people don't even notice whether I'm wearing makeup or not wearing makeup, or how I'm dressed up.
I think you just do what you want to do. I love putting something nice on. It makes me feel, red lipstick. Go and read my book. It's a massive part of that. I love red lipstick. It's a confidence boost for me. If you ever see me in red lipstick, it's because I need that extra confidence boost. So me coming here today, it doesn't mean that I don't still get all those like anxiety, and I can feel my heart racing and I'm getting hot. I'm 46, premenopausal with a mental illness. Of course I do. I'm real. I'm a real life person. But I do what I need to do. So, I'll pop some music on, I'll get my vibrations up, I'll pop my red lipstick on, I'll look at myself in the mirror and go, yes, you can do this. And that's not for everyone. Don't get me wrong. My husband sees me dancing around sometimes and he thinks I'm off my head. But actually, I am. So that's okay.
This may not work for certain people, but something else would work for them. So it's important to find out what works for us and do those things.
And do those. And and say it's okay that you were nervous, and say it's okay that, oh God, God, I was a bit worried about showing up today, but I've had a lovely time, and just be real. And people need that. Why do you think reality shows are so popular? Because it's all just real stuff that people could go, oh God, I can't stand that. And I know obviously a lot of things are a bit scripted now, but when it first come out, it was just literally real and raw. And I think that's what's missing off social media. I think a lot of people just feel like, yeah, they've got to show up a certain way. And you just show up as you. Whether that's with makeup one day, without makeup the other.
Yes. That is something that all of us should remember.
Yeah, definitely.
Show up as ourselves, share content as ourselves. We.
Yeah. And it's so easy to look at whatever, I keep repeating myself here, but look at what everyone else is doing and look at their content and think, well, that's the content I should be putting out then because we do something similar. So that's but then that just becomes super not aligned to you. That becomes effort and a chore because you're trying to be someone else instead of going, let's see, by being me and putting out what actually is in my head, because what I've got in my head is valuable. And, and we can talk about being an expert and all that, it doesn't have to come with a certification sometimes. This is why I'm not a coach. I've not got a certificate to be a coach. Some people call me a visibility coach. I don't, because that's not what I am. So yeah, simple as that, really.
Yeah. You make it sound so simple. Just be yourself.
It is. Everybody complicates it. Can't get me. I'm so dyslexic sometimes, can't get the words out. They overcomplicate things with business as well. It's super, super simple. But I know that takes a lot of time because you want to show up with a purpose. You don't just I'm not just going to rock up live and go, hiya, just thought I'd come live today. How are you? How's the weather? I'm not going to do that. I will be showing up with a purpose and some value and some educational content for you because that's what I love to do and that's what I'm aligned to do. So, and it's the same for you. Just don't overcomplicate it. Just do what you do. You know what you do and you know what you're good at. Like with what you do, you help people get their story together and pop it out there. So there's a massive part of visibility what you do. Massive. We're very aligned in what we do, but very different. And the thing is, and it's fine because I know I'm definitely not for everyone. I am definitely not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm my drink of choice. And that takes time because you want everybody to love you, don't you? You want everyone to like you. And that's just not how it works. And that is why we've got that boring thing of an ideal client. But it's super important that we have to have that because we don't know who we're talking to. Absolutely. But, me and you both do visibility. But how I teach may resonate with someone or it could repel someone. And that's when they choose someone else. And that's how it works. And how you teach, exactly the same. Someone might go, just didn't get what she was on about. And then someone go, bloody hell, I've heard this over and over again. But how she said it and how she put it, it's absolutely. And that's then when the little switch goes on and they go and implement, because I don't know whether it's happened to you. You can teach over and over again the same stuff. And then you can see someone ask the question what you've already taught, and you think it's just them just not listening. And that, the switch needs to. It's that day you can say the same 5 things over and over again. And this is when people say to me, "Won't people get sick of seeing me online? Won't people get sick of hearing my content? Won't people get sick of hearing my message?" And I'm like, I hate to break it to you, but unless you're Oprah Winfrey, not everyone sees you. Not everyone sees your posts.
Love that.
I mean? Not everyone sees, not everyone listens. It depends what day it is and what day resonates with them on the day, doesn't it? It's like, it depends, how they're feeling on the day. And it's never visible, visibility is never about us, it's about them. And that's a thing to keep in mind as well. when you're showing up, people go, oh, I don't know, and I'm like, take yourself out of this equation
Mm,
and think about if you didn't show up. Just
mm,
like if I hadn't have published that blog, like my friend said, I didn't know what blogging was. I didn't want to be visible.
mm.
She pushed me as a friend, and look where we are today. So I took myself out of the equation and realized how many people I could help by them finding my words and now me using my voice to help others. And it's as simple as that.
Mm. And this decision to show up and put out that blog or create the business that you have created now was built on the solid foundations of your mission, your vision, and your purpose.
Yeah, definitely. It didn't just pluck it from the air. I didn't just go, oh, I'll just be the visibility queen today. I never actually gave myself that name. What happened was, and that's my academy is called VQ. Someone actually said to me, what does the VQ stand for? Very quiet. And I was like, absolutely the opposite. But it's just how people see it sometimes, isn't it? And when I was rocking up to do like guest speaking slots and stuff, people were going, oh, here she is, the visibility queen. And I was like, oof, that's a bit of a bold statement, isn't it? And then I thought, well, I do wear this crown proudly, and it's not a thing of me going, look at me, I am the only queen. It's me saying we are all queens, and we all have a place, and we all have a place on this social media platform, and I wear this crown proudly, even if it gets a little bit crooked. If someone comes and knocks it off and even stamps on it on the floor, I'll teach you to get it back on, and get your chin up, as we say.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And, get visible, get seen. This
Mm.
ain't a dress rehearsal, is it? As cliche as that sounds, this is it. This is it. So why not, leave your legacy and be visible and be helping people to do the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, we are all queens. We are all kings.
We are definitely all queens. We are definitely all queens, and that's why I address them as my queens. And because we definitely all are. And I think people confuse and think, oh well, that's okay for her because she's a visibility queen. No, you can be a visibility queen. What's stopping you being a visibility queen? What's stopping you wearing the crown? Probably because someone's knocked it off and told you weren't good enough. Well, let's get that back on your head and get going.
So, Kat, tell us, how can people experience some of this goodness with you? How can they work with you?
That's a funny way of putting it, this goodness. It's like I'm a cookbook. So I run obviously a visibility academy. We are shut. I do close it. I do have a wait list. I don't share links. But what I do is, if anybody does want to connect with me, then let's get on a call. It's not a sales call. It's to see if I'm a fit for you, because there's nothing worse than wasting your time with someone, time and money, with someone that's not a fit for you, getting 6 months down the line. So let's so that's what I do. 10-minute, you can call them what you want, discovery calls or whatever. Don't share links. That's all I've got going on at the moment. I'll be honest, I've got the Visibility Academy waitlist. Like I said, I'm not running my course again this year. I've got a free group called the Visibility and Community Confidence Club. So I'm capping the numbers in there on a free group. Have you ever heard of such a thing? And that's what I'm doing. So once we reach 1K, I don't want it any bigger. That's it. Someone said to me, why? Oh, you're going to be capping your growth on your business. And I'm like, no, I'm not. That's where it comes to just doing you. We are taught that, your free group should be massive and you should have like thousands and thousands of people in there. People get lost. You lose that connection. You lose that engagement. And I don't want that. Anyway, but that's just my call. I'm not saying if anyone's watching this and they've got like 13,000 in their group, absolutely crack on. Best of luck to you. But for me, that's So I'm the host of a collaboration book. So I'm helping 15 female entrepreneurs have their words found in a book that launches for Mental Health Awareness Day on the 10th of October. So yeah, that's what I've got going on at the moment.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, you can catch me over on Instagram. There's always loads of tips. I do a lot of video marketing, so if you don't like to see me on a reel, don't follow me. I won't be your thing. But if you do, then I'm your girl.
And so you are on Facebook, you're on Instagram, and you're also on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah, don't use LinkedIn, don't like it.
Okay.
Tried it, don't like it. And this is another thing I recommend as well.
Mm-hmm.
I've got like a free checklist if anyone wants it, but go and try all these platforms out, but don't get overwhelmed. You know, go and tweet if you want to tweet, go and dance on TikTok if you want to dance on TikTok, go and put an article on LinkedIn if that's your bag, but choose two, and choose two wisely. Where your perfect people are, where your perfect people hang out, that's where you should be. My perfect people aren't on LinkedIn. I'm not. If I was high ticket, I'd be on LinkedIn. I'm not. So my perfect people hang out on Facebook and Instagram. So that is, guess what, where I hang out. And I do it with quality, not quantity. So I have got a digital footprint on all platforms. So I am on Pinterest and all these platforms. But what I utilize is Facebook and Instagram. And lucky for me, they're both owned by the same company. So
yeah, that makes so much sense. We have got to decide what works for us and what is aligned to how we want to create our business, because it's our business. We get to make that choice.
You do.
And hang out there.
Yeah. And you know, like where obviously my clients have come from, I've come from Instagram. You know, I've got questions when they join my free, you know, where have you come from? How do you find me? Instagram, Facebook. No one says LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Because, you know, because I don't use it. I'm not saying it's not a good platform. It's an amazing platform for business. And it's, I'm on social platforms, whereas obviously LinkedIn is amazing for business. So go use it if that's where your perfect people are. It's just not for me. But you can find a digital footprint of me there.
Yeah. No, that's really important to understand what platform works for you and what you enjoy.
Yeah, and you know, and if you don't like enjoy the social side of things, I'm also visible offline. So I've got a few books. I've got 4 books. You know, if you ever want to get to know me a little bit better, if you ever want a business, you know, I've got a book where we could get to know each other. I've also got business books which will help you with your visibility. So I've got a beginner's guide to blogging. I've got a visibility journal planner for you to go on. I've got notebooks, you know, all that jazz. Got a clothing line. If you ever want to wear a t-shirt with an affirmation on, that you look in the mirror and you walk past and it says you are enough, you always were, then I'm your girl. I can get you one of them.
Wonderful. Kat, before we let you go, if there was one big message you could share with our audience, what would it be?
It would be to be, I know I've said it, but to be you and to know that you are enough, and you always were, no matter what anyone else has told you, you always were enough. We were born enough. It's just society tramples on that, and we need to get back into control, get back to stepping into your power, your passion, your purpose, and show up just as you are.
What a beautiful message to finish this delightful session.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's been lovely chatting to you. You're a lovely host.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your wisdom with us, Kat.
Oh, thank you. You take care, my lovely.
You too.